How you doing? Welcome everyone. Another episode of Cooking with Chef Johnyshwa. We had a great meal in store for you tonight. Some really nice ingredients. I'm going to talk about first. We have some really great chicken. We have two things, kind of torn. They're both so great. We have some beautiful young chicken that we got at the local Korean mart, Lottie Mart, and you'll see lots of really great fat on this chicken. It's got a nice light color, and they're small but meaty. Okay, really great. Tons of fat on them. We're going to be roasting them in the oven today. We're going to be serving them. We're going to make a sauce with, we have some bacon, we have some garlic, we have some onions, some tomatoes. We're going to be finishing our sauce with a little fresh oregano and parsley from the garden. And then we're going to be working with some leeks. I have my leeks cut up in small pieces. Leeks really, very, very dirty. I'm going to start my sauce as we're talking. Leeks, really, really dirty. And it's really important that you wash them really well. So we go ahead and cut them, get them in water. I've changed the water twice on here already. And, really want to give them a good soak. So I have my bacon in the pan. I'm going to start out with just a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my fan with on number 2 today, because I know we're already going to smoke her out. So just a little bit of salt, and then we're going to be using this lemon pepper brand, kind of togarashi style, really good. And then we have a chili pepper togarashi we're going to be using on the chicken. For the chicken, I have my plancha on, and we're sitting ready to go. So I'm just going to move my lardons around, and we're going to cook the lardons. We want to render them, so we start them in a fairly cold pan, and we want to get them nice and crispy. When we're done rendering, when they become nice and crispy, all the fat's been melting out, and those are some key terms for today. I'm going to go ahead and take my chicken, and it's important that, when you're seasoning, nice high in the air. Too many of us, not me, but a lot of people I see, all kind of, in one area. We're going to go with just a little bit of this Japanese lemon pepper. It's really, really amazing. Not spicy and floral. Really, really nice. And then I'm going to be adding just a little bit of this Japanese in an open container, not like the other one, so we don't want to put too much of this on. But we're going to go with a very light dusting of this. Okay? I'm going to watch my lardons right now. We talked about in our last episode, we talked about controlling the bottom of the pan, not creating too much fond. Okay? In a dish like this with leeks, we don't want to have a whole lot of caramelization. I'm actually going to bring this down a little bit, down to about 3 or so, because I don't want this to brown. Leeks are a very soft flavor. And, we're really looking for the sweetness of the leeks, and we don't want to have too much caramelization getting in the way of that. Okay? So, as my bacon is cooking nice and slow, I have my pan screaming hot, okay, very high fatty chicken. I'm going to go ahead and get that on. Okay? I'm not going to put any oil down. There's enough fat, I'm hoping, in the chicken itself to kind of render it out. Once it's on, probably going to add a little bit. But to get it started, no problem. Okay? So, getting all 6 onto the plancha. These are on the bone. These are both leg and thigh. The whole pack cost me $4.85. $4. Quick wash my hands real quick, cut raw chicken. Right? $4.35. I couldn't believe it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, so I have my bacon going nice and easy. I have my chicken on. I'm going to use these as my contaminated tongs. This is going to be my contaminated area. Okay, so I'm going to keep that all in that area. I want to go ahead and just get a little olive oil on these right now. The pan being smoking hot, you want to be really careful going and adding oil to a really, really hot pan. You could cause a fire, and I hope you know where your fire extinguisher is. Okay, but once I get the chicken on, I know the chicken has kind of cooled the pan down a little bit, then I can go ahead and get a little bit of olive oil on there. All right, once it's on the plancha, I'm going to go ahead and season that really well. I have my nice trusty salt cave. I'm going to go with a little bit of togarashi, right, and similar spices on the back to the front. Okay? Lots of really great fatness. You want to go nice and easy on the chili powder. It's going to be a very soft flavor, and you don't want that really coming off. Right, we got some nice caramelization going on already. Right, you do a little peeking, make sure nothing is burning. Right, before you go ahead and turn your back. All right, this back one's looking decent. Okay, I'm going to flip one. Okay, and I'm going to go back and flip the rest now the pan's cooled down a little bit. Okay, now let's give you a little bit more attention to our bacon. Our bacon is starting to sweat out, as you can see it, but it's not fully crispy yet. You know, and there's nothing to say that it has to be. You know, we have some nice fatty bacon sweating with some leeks. We don't necessarily need to be fat. All that fat to be rendered. That's lots of flavor. But what it's going to do, it's going to give lots of texture in the dish. And give a really good mouthfeel. So I have that going. I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic. Okay, I have about maybe 10 or 11 cloves of garlic. I'm going to be adding in. I'm going to add that right into my bacon. Going to switch that around. As you can see, right? We have our bacon. We have our garlic. Right, and I'm going to kick up the flame a little bit. I'm on about number 5 right now. So I'm going to go up to about 7.5 and really keep that going. Right. I can hear my chicken going, and Jack is sneaking behind my camera right now, so if it goes offline, just who to blame. I'm going to go ahead and flip my chicken over. Don't be afraid of a little bit of fire. When there's fire, there's flavor, baby. Right, but as you can see, nice browning on the chicken. Right, starting to get some nice browning. The aroma, oh man, I tell you right now, the aroma coming off this chicken today is unbelievable. This is not going to be a long cooking process, and that's really why I love the leeks with this. The leeks, we don't want cooking in the oven too long, so we're going to get our chicken pan seared. I see who's on there. My Aunt Dolly's on there. Oh, I love my Aunt Dolly. And hi, Aunt Dolly. We really want to sear the chicken, and it's going to be cooked almost all the way through. By the time we get it into the pan with our sauce that we're making. Going to America, part of, becoming, I was becoming a cook at the time. I was lucky enough to become a chef. But what a great part of that was learning about sauces. Over our Mother's Day, I made a hollandaise that was just phenomenal. But learning all your mother's sauces and creating sauces every night, for me is a real joy. It really brings back my craft. Things that have been handed down to me along the way, and now handed down to you. I'm gonna make sure my chicken is doing okay, right? And I don't have a terribly high flame right now for my plancha, which is a really good thing. Okay. By not leaving it too high, I will get the chicken rendering out some, so we can get rid of some of that fat, and it'll go nice and easy. So I'm going to be grabbing my leeks right now. I have my leeks right coming from the water. I'm going to give them a good shake, and I'm going to be adding them right to my bacon and my onion. Get a big amount. This was 3, I would say, medium small leeks. I mean, they weren't small, but they weren't like big. Like some of those leeks sometimes you can see are just really, really big. Okay? So I got all my leeks in there right now. We're going to add a little bit of salt. We're going to be sweating our leeks, and we talked about the sweating technique, developing the natural sugars in the vegetables. Right? They're going to become vibrant in color, and it's going to look really great. All right. Again, checking my chicken, making sure it's not browning too bad, and we're looking really, really great. I'm going to flip back actually, and go back to that fat side, and really work on crisping that skin. Getting that skin, this is the only chance I'm going to really have to get the skin nice and crispy, since we're going to be adding our leek sauce right over the top. Okay? So, we're going to work our chicken, working all sides, coming back to our leeks. We're going to go ahead and mix all that together. Okay? You see we have our leeks going to start to sweat, and we want to fold our leeks into the bacon, fold the leeks into the garlic, the olive oil. This is just, really, really great Provençal cooking. I really learned a lot of classical French cuisine, and I was exposed to so much, that, I'm so proud of the CIA, and the amazing job they did for us while we were there. It was just an incredible venture. So, we're going to be sweating our leeks. I have my flame on about 7.5 right now. And I'm actually going to go a little higher. You know, the number doesn't matter, the flame size doesn't matter. What matters is how is the food reacting in the pan. That's how you want to put things higher or lower. When the kids say, how high should I put the flame? I have no idea. What's the technique we're using? How long are we going to use it? How big is the piece? What's the humidity in the air? There's 1,000 things that can go along with that. Okay? Right. So, listening. You know, using listening skills. As I'm cooking, I'm hearing my chicken cooking, envisioning what's going on, you know? So, they're hearing that searing, that popping, that crackling, and we know that our skin is starting to render. Some of the water in there is starting to render out, and the skin is getting crispy, okay? So, this is looking beautiful. We give a couple of little shakes, shake it, don't break it, onto our area, and we're going to go back to the other side. Okay? We're getting even cooking. Woo! You see that, baby? That was on cue. I take that. Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Beautiful. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's how gorgeous they are. Unbelievable. Those chickens. The way they're cooking, $4.85. I was at Latin Mart, and this barely fits on here. There it is. And I was talking to the woman next to me, and she was looking around, and I said, "Did you see the chicken was $4.98 for the whole pack?" And there was like, I don't know, five in there, or depending how big. Some are big, some are smaller. I tried to grab a smaller pack. She thanked me. All right. So now that my leeks are starting to sweat down, I'm going to go ahead and add some onion. I didn't add my onion too early. You could have added the onion before the leek, but I really had a lot of leeks, and I didn't want them to kind of sweat out. These are also going in the oven. So I want my onions are just a little bit larger, and I really want them to sweat into the leeks. So that's why I'm kind of adding them at that stage. You could have added the onions before adding the leeks and sweating those in the bacon with the garlic. Also, that works for you. It depends what you're looking for on the whole size. Either way, we're in oil. We're nice and high. We're on number 10 right now, and this is searing really beautiful. All right. All right. Next up. Talk about some of the herbs we have today. We have some fresh flat leaf parsley out of our garden in the hen house. And then we have some, oh boy, we have some Greek oregano that we got. So we're going to be picking the Greek oregano off of the stem. And the stem's not very pleasurable. You don't really want that. With the flat leaf parsley, you know, we're going to go for the major pieces. This, you know, large stalk, we can just get rid of, and we're going to put our herbs off to the side. We're not going to cut our herbs until we're absolutely ready. We're going to be adding in, I'm going to go ahead and add some tomatoes. I have about 10 tomatoes. I'm going to be adding into my leeks. So we have some, you know, beautiful leeks and onions and garlic, right? Going to make a beautiful sauce for our chicken. Right? It's going to go right over the top of our chicken, and then we're going to be putting the whole item right into the oven. I have my oven set at 375 degrees. So these are looking, you know, really amazing. Okay? I'm going to go ahead right now and just turn my pan down. Let's see how low can I go without shutting it off. Right? I can go down nice and low. Right? We want to go nice and low. You know, adjusting our heat. Once we start getting some caramelization, we don't want it to burn. We want it to be able to continue to cook. Okay? So we have our chicken on. Our chicken is cooking through. We're flipping both sides. Again, you know, using some olive oil, two different style of togarashi. One is assorted chili, and the other one is lemon pepper, which is really amazing. We have our herbs, flat leaf parsley, and oregano, and then I have a little secret ingredient right here. I had made some pork stock the other day, and I had so much I couldn't store it. So it took about, I don't know, maybe like 3/4 of a gallon or so, and I reduced it down to about, I don't know, about 3/4 of a cup or a cup or so. So tons of flavor. It's a little salty. So I'm not going to go crazy today with my salt because the sauce I'm going to go ahead and add in has a lot of that in there. So I'm going to go ahead and dump that in. You notice a nice fat slick right on top, and there's a little sludge on the bottom. We're not going to use a sludge. Sludge goes off to the side. You know, you got to be really careful about that. Okay. All right. So we could add a little stock in here. We could add, you know, a couple different things in here, but we don't want too much liquid. You know, don't forget, when we start to cook our chicken in the oven, a lot of water and juices come out of the chicken itself. And that's going to blend in with your items. So, we want to talk about the herbs. We want to roll the herbs together. Okay, this is the Chiffonade Technique. If you've been in my class, guys like J.J. Waldron, we can see on here, and hopefully, still cooking, and, really come through. You want to use those proper knife techniques and go all the way through, and we don't want to bruise our herbs. Okay, one time through, nice and easy. We're going to go ahead and add those herbs in. Oh man, you're going to smell the pop. Anybody who says parsley doesn't have flavor, I'm going to tell you right now. You grab some fresh parsley right out of your garden, boy, it's incredible. I'm going to go ahead and shut this off right now. This dish is coming together, really quick. One last secret ingredient we have are some new potatoes. I have turned my chicken off. Go ahead and turn my hood off. I have some new potatoes that are cooked. Anytime you're going to use potatoes and they're going to go into the oven, these are about, I would say, 80% done. Wow, these are really great. So, nice salted water. Bring the potatoes up in cold water. It's going to come to a boil, about 5 minutes, and shut them off and just let them rest in the hot water. These are really great. But potatoes, by themselves in the oven, tend to dry out. So you always want to cook your potatoes in water before using them in the oven. That's how you'll get them puffy inside, and then you can get them nice and crisp. Okay? So, really good potatoes. We're going to have those in just a moment. All right. So, I have a large baking pan. I'm going to transfer my chicken over to my baking pan. Right? Some beautiful flavor on there. While I still got a hot pan, you better bet, I'm going to grab a pitcher. We're going to deglaze that pan, and we're going to try and pick up a little bit of that, what's that stuff called? Fond, yes. A little fond that's on the bottom over here. So this is turned off. You want to make sure, and we're going to go ahead and grab all that good fond. Look at that. Oh boy. Only steam, thank goodness. My fire alarm on the wall. But we'll pull that steam right out. Right? Now, I'm letting some of that water reduce before I go ahead and pick it up. I don't want it to spill all over. I'm going to go ahead and add that right in. Wow! Look at all that great juice. Tons of flavor that we're adding into our chicken. Tons of flavor. So, I'm going to go ahead and grab my potatoes right now. Right? My potatoes are going to go right in. Make sure I don't get any water, a tiny little bit of water on the bottom. I want to make sure that doesn't come out of the pot. Alright? So, I'm going to spread my potatoes around. So they're evenly distributed. One fell out. No, don't cook me, no! Alright? So, we have our chicken around. All nice. Look how beautiful this is. I'm going to have to open a bottle of wine tonight for this. A nice Alsatian Riesling or, wow. Nice Gewürztraminer would be nice. Alright, so, Pinot Gris. We have our leeks. And we're going to start taking this mixture. We want to give it a good stir. The cherry tomatoes are full, and we're going to just cover the whole thing. Cover the whole thing. This is how you feed a family of 6. Large pans, large portions. But you know what? Even if you're not, this is so cheap, how do you not make this whole dish? And just put it in the refrigerator, or freeze it, or give it away to friends, or invite friends over, or eat it all yourself. Wow. Wow, I am blown away by today's dish. You know, I came into it not really knowing how this was going to come together, but I knew the ingredients that I wanted to use. And I tell you, these ingredients look beautiful. You know, covered in the leeks, the garlic, the bacon, the potatoes that are cooked in there. I'm going to cover this with tin foil. I'll bake it in the oven for probably 45 minutes. These legs aren't that big. You know, they're probably at 95 to 100 already from being seared. Okay, you have to understand that. We're only going to 165. Higher it gets, quicker it goes. 45 minutes covered. Probably last 15 minutes uncovered, but I tell you what, it's going to be a call. When I take that lid off for the first time and smell those leeks, if it smells ready to go, we may not cook longer. So we'll let the dish decide. So we'll cover it tin foil. And that's it. Another edition with Cooking with Chef Johnyshwa. I don't even know which episode or how many we were up to, but you know, it's great. I love being able to connect with my students that are here online. So many of you. Going for my 23rd year. 23 years, old man that I am, right? 23 years at Homedel and loving every day of it. You know, keeping it interesting. Indonesian cuisine we're working on. Making the beef rendang and ramen we made this year around and made the ramen. You know, I'm so lucky I get to be able to dive into all these cuisines and really seek out the true recipes and have the time to really work on them to perfect them. Have people around me, great sous chefs, my boy Franny at school, you know, and shout out. And just being there and working with me and making recipes over and over and over and over again. It's really just, you know, an incredible experience. So thank you for being here tonight, this evening, and thank you for allowing me to share my dinner with you. God bless everybody. Have a great evening. Bon appetit.